Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people, right? You want people to care. You want to strike emotions, and I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one too.
Quarter pounder with cheese and France, Mickey. What? Boy, ale with cheese, Mickey. Yeah, I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice that my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success? Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host Dave.
I'm John.
JD.
And here we are yet again. JD's back.
I'm back. I don't have to hang shells this week.
I feel like I got you in trouble. I don't know why.
No, I was worried about you.
No. My in-laws were up. My wife said, "Look, my dad is down here for the weekend. He's come here to do all this work. You cannot go podcast while my 70-year-old father is building shelves." And I said, "Okay." So
yeah, that's not really a winnable argument.
I need to stay married.
You do. You definitely do.
I do. I personally, I do.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
That's the goal.
Definitely.
Okay. So then, besides building shelves, how was your week?
Not bad. Finished up the first quarter of my teaching career. It's going good. I'm getting to remake the classes in my own image now. So my predecessor has this like printer. When I say a printer, we both teach graphics. My background is like digital. His was in like print. So again, the early graphics classes are all Photoshop, Illustrator, all that. When you get to the higher level classes, he had them like doing, I'm not kidding when I say this, the printing for the district. And my division, when I took the job, said, "You will tell them, no, you cannot do that because you don't even know how to teach." And I said, "Okay, I'm not a dumb man. I do what someone smarter than me comes along and tells me to do something, I'd listen." Boy, was that the best decision I ever made.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
But, well, I didn't know how to turn the machine on. We have a $140,000 printer. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a $140,000 printer, like a big dog printer. Like if I was still in comics, I'd be like, "Oh my God, I could print all my own comics." But saying that and doing it is a completely different story. I did not know how to turn the machine on, right? Because this thing is, like I said, 140 grand, and it is, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, it's probably about 15 feet long. Hey, man.
That is awesome.
So we're reviewing Weird tonight, right? Andy saw it with me, and he wants to give us his quick reaction to what he thought of Weird before he goes to bed. So, Bud, get in the microphone. What did you think? Come here. What did you think of Weird?
Well, I thought it was good.
Oh, you did like it?
Yeah, I liked it, though. It did get a little crazy.
It did get a little crazy. That is accurate.
Weird.
That is Weird Al Yankovic, yes.
He was all concerned. He's like, "Why won't his dad just let him be weird?" And I'm like, how do I explain sardonic humor to a 6-year-old? It was a much more of a morality play than I expect for my 6-year-old. But you had a good time with it?
Yeah.
Yeah? You liked it?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say to the guys on the show on pod?
Well, I could say there is something I made that I want to show.
Oh, you want to show off what you made? Go ahead and show off what you made in your lab.
This.
Put in front
I
of the camera.
made this.
Out of food coloring and tissue paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
neat.
It's like it's weird to me, so that's why I put it on.
Oh, okay.
Weird is good.
Weird is good. All right, buddy. Can I get a hug tonight?
Yeah.
Love you. Close the door. That message was brought to you by Parenthood.
Well, there you go. Thumbs up from 6-year-olds. So.
I'm shocked. I did not think he would say that. Anyways, so got this printer. Now my my junior, senior graphics kids wanted to do the printing. That was their expectation when they signed up for the class. So I said, all right, I talked to the principal, we'll take on some stuff, not for the whole district. We'll do stuff for the school. And, we waited a little bit going. So I'm like, all right, we'll do this. I got trained. The people from the printer, the people who built the printer came down, showed me the printer. By the way, it's also a 10-year-old printer that's on end of life. They don't make the workstation for it anymore. You cannot update it.
Jesus.
And Konica Minolta no longer makes parts for it.
Oh my God.
You do the math on what's coming. And I immediately grabbed my principal and told her everything about this. But anyways, so last Wednesday, the drama teacher comes in. He's got these he says, hey, can you print these up by tomorrow? I'm like, what are these? He's like, I need 180 of these. And it's these booklets, the playbill booklets.
Yeah.
And I had a couple kids after school. I'm like, sure. Because next week wrestling starts. I think it's going to be busier then. So let's just do this. Took me an hour and a half to figure out how to print it. I had to call the guys from the company and say, how do I do this again? And then once we got 60 of them printed, we got a paper jam. And when I say a paper jam, 12 pieces of paper were jammed throughout this 15-foot long device. So me and two juniors were pulling it out of there. And then we got it going in. And then we got another paper jam. And at 5:30, I said, guys, go home. I have practice in a half hour. We'll figure this out in class. I pulled out the paper jam. I hit go. It got stuck again. The next day, we did it again, 9 paper jams. So I said, we're done. And I called the people because we pay for service on this thing. I'm like, I need you guys to fix this thing. So when this semester is up, digital only. I want nothing to do with this printer. I hate it.
I have a $140 Canon printer here that just has never had a paper jam at all in 6 years.
You've seen the movie Office Space.
Oh yeah.
That went through your head?
So many different parts of it were going through my head at this moment. The damn it feels good to be a gangster. I want to take it out back and beat it with a baseball bat.
Yes.
It says PC low letter. What the fuck does that mean? That's how I felt. That's how I felt working on this thing. I'm like, I'm a videographer. I spent 20 years with a camera over my shoulder. And now I have to figure out this printer. So yeah, Graphics 3.4 is going to be live stream video next year. And that's it. We're reshaping the class because JD's going to lose his mind. I was telling the principal, I'm like, she's like, well, yeah, but he had this, the old guy had this whole thing going where the kids would do all the printing and it worked really well. I said, yeah, and he's not here anymore for a reason. Think about that.
Just tell her print is dead.
Print is dead. Print is dead, except in high schools where stuff needs to get printed all the time. But that is not going to be my problem. That should be somebody else's job, not a full-time teacher. That's my story for the week. How are you, John?
Uh-oh. In vino veritas.
Uh-oh.
That one you've got to remember, right?
Wine is life?
In wine, truth.
Truth. I always get veritas and vita confused. So yes.
I should have asked you before we got on mic. I have a feeling I know why you're drinking the wine.
Oh no, that was like days ago. This is on the upswing.
Women issues? Lack of women issues?
Well, no women issues. I mean,
lack of
no women, so no issues.
Yeah.
Did you have your second date?
No, and I know our listeners are like, oh God, here comes another story. Let me speed this up.
They stuck around for my Prince story. They'll stick around for this.
This is why, JD, you should stay married, because she wanted to go on a second date, and then a few hours later, I got a message saying, it's not going to work out. I don't think we're right for each other. And I said, okay, look, I would normally at that point just say, forget it, and wish her luck. But I'm like, she's really cool and everything. I want to do at least a second date. So I sent a message saying, oh, why don't we just do the second date? Can we at least do a second date before you make up your mind? And then I'll just go, I will heed whatever your decision is. And she sent back in all caps, respect my decision, do not pursue. And then she immediately blocked me before I could say, okay.
No, we just started, bud. Sorry. Good night.
So it's like, I just.
Good night, Andrew.
Dating at this age sucks. They're just wackadoodles out there. They say you look for even in looking for the profiles that say grounded or relaxed or laid back. Even them, sometimes it just takes one word and bam, like dating PTSD or something kicks in. I don't know. I just
you're not supposed to send the penis pics till, well after
Dave,
the
I
fifth
don't do
date.
Dave. I'm the most straight of all of us. There's no way I'd ever do that kind of crap. But I mean, in all honesty, it's like all I did was say,
wait, what?
Good.
I feel a little taken aback by that, Marek.
Anyway, it just, it's like that's really the first time I ever actually tried to say, why don't we just do a second date and, see, and boy, the reaction was, send all the nukes. We're under attack.
Wow.
So, but again, that was days ago. Like, I'm so used to it at this point, I don't even care anymore. I don't think I'll be able to care about anybody until I get through a third date, maybe. And then maybe it'll start to, maybe at that point, I'll start to have emotion over it. At this point, it's just intellectual curiosity. It's a social experiment for me. Let's see how this one wrecks itself. There we go.
Wow. I got nothing. That's, you probably should have, yeah,
there's nothing you can do about it. Like nothing I can do about it. It's just, you can't think it's you. I mean, I constantly worry it's me in some fashion or another, but for the life of me, I can't, I got flow charts on a wall with a bunch of string and some push pins and I still can't figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong, or if it's me, or if it's just that at this age, there's nothing left but wackadoodles and just, just weird ones. So,
I don't know.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah. So anyway, aside from that, I am happy that in next November, a new Godzilla movie is coming out, and not one from Legend, not one of the MonsterVerse ones. It's an actual Toho Godzilla movie. So, is it a sequel to Shin? No, I don't think they're ever going to make a sequel to Shin. That Godzilla is too powerful. Like, it is a powerful Godzilla. There's every time you get one of those animation guys on YouTube that decides I'll make a Godzilla Rumble, Shin Godzilla always wins. Because, every time you hurt him, he mutates and then everything dies. So, but it's going to be a Toho one. There's the only thing we know is when they put the casting call out, the only hint we got was that they were looking at one of the scenes is going to be in 1950s Japan. So this is going to be a main timeline, Gojira with, it's going to be part of the actual timeline from the 1950s Godzilla movie. So that should be interesting. That's what they're thinking. I mean, again, the only hint we've got is that one of the scenes is going to be in the 1950s, and because it was part of the casting call document or whatever.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
they're going to pull like a Halloween where none of the other movies ever happened.
No,
the first movie, and then now he reawoke in modern day.
That's kind of what Godzilla 1985 was.
Oh, right? Yeah. Not the American version, just the Japanese version. The American version sucked.
Too. But to be fair, that was the story of the American version.
Well, I know. Well, I mean, they even brought back what's his face, Raymond Burr for the 19 to do the Americanized 1985. But still, the script was horrible compared to what was actually filmed. You just have to watch the Japanese version with subtitles. So we did watch Godzilla Kong last night for the first time. I finally got to watch it. It was stupid. I loved it. It's so stupid. I know. It's so stupid. Like, it's the Hollow Earth. And they had to go through a wormhole to get to Middle Earth, but so Godzilla can pierce that with his breath. I don't know. In a world with giant lizards, I mean, like, sure, why can't they come from Hollow Earth? When you get to level of stupid, it's just like I just love seeing the big things fight. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, mass destruction and violence. I enjoy it. Did Andy watch? Oh God, that's why we watched. What do you think? Oh, he loved it. He's like, there's too much talking. And he was mad. He's like, Godzilla wouldn't do this. Godzilla would not attack without being provoked. He's the good guy. Like all little boys think Godzilla is the good guy. They don't like seeing their hero portrayed negatively. Oh, don't show him some of the earlier movies where he's like the spirit of vengeance. The one where he's the spirit of vengeance from all the people that died. Oh, that one's cool. I know it is the best, but it's very sad for him.
No, he likes the legendary ones because, it's just they're dumb and it's big Godzilla and he ate Ghidorah and King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
That scene rules.
Mhm.
So we did enjoy Kong versus Godzilla. And he has no affinity King Kong, but he grew an attachment to him. They do a lot to make you sympathize with, the giant Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one of the original series he'd probably like is
Oh no, he loves the originals.
Godzilla versus Megalon must have been
Loves
one of the
Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yeah.
That's right up his path. We like Godzilla versus Hedorah. I show him the ones where Godzilla.
Hedorah, you showed him the Smog Monster one?
Yeah, it's a weird one, man.
It's a weird one, and there's a lot of bodies in that.
It really is.
Yeah,
there really is.
I just thought he liked Jaguar, the giant robot.
He did like, Jack Jaguar kept getting in the way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he wants to see, he's six. He wants to see big kaiju fight. Like he gets it. The kid gets it as far as the monsters go.
So you've shown him what's the other big monster fight thing? Shoot, the one by Del Toro.
No, Pacific Rim, no.
No, you're not gonna show him that?
No, probably not till he gets older.
Oh. I don't think there was anything in there that was really bad.
I've never seen it, so I'll just be like, I gotta watch it first and then
yeah. No, go ahead and watch it. Like I don't think there's anything in there. It's just stupid big fights. A little bit more continuity, a little bit better on the that makes sense. But really cool fights. I mean, he did an excellent job. There's none of the other weirdness that he puts in some of his other movies. This was literally just a giant monster fight. Giant monster versus robots fight. It's awesome.
I'll check it out at some point.
No sex with sea monsters.
No, nothing,
Okay.
nothing like that. Nothing. This
you saw.
No, well, it's a movie that I saw.
There could have been.
Off screen, under the ocean.
Definitely possible.
Uh-huh.
How are you, Dave?
Oh, I'm doing better. So last weekend, it's so funny. So my family does a Pollyanna every year. So we got together on Saturday to draw the names. Didn't think anything of it. Sunday, we recorded the podcast that you weren't here for, and then
I missed it.
And then Monday was Halloween, right? You guys have a good Halloween?
Yes, I did actually.
And took my granddaughters trick-or-treating and had a lot of fun doing that. But I was feeling like a little run down. I wake up Tuesday and I'm like sick as a dog.
Uh-oh.
I decide to listen to my brother's podcast, and apparently he was sick the previous week and was still sick on Saturday when he went to my mom's.
The
Pollyanna.
You COVID it up?
No, it's just a cold, but it was just like, yeah, it's definitely not COVID, but it was just like, really? You jerk. I was just tired. That was the main thing. It was like like the flu, tired and really bad runny nose. Oh God, that's the worst. So
I got my vaccines yesterday. I got both the flu and the COVID at the same time. I have been very tired today.
The bivalent COVID one?
Whichever the newest one they had up in Pfizer was.
That's probably, I don't know if
the one that just came out recently.
Oh yeah, that's the bivalent then.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, basic typical week. Watched Black Panther 1, I guess we can call that now, or Black Panther, yesterday with the girlfriend because she wants to go see Wakanda Forever with me, and when it's like, oh, I need to get caught up. That was an interesting experience because as soon as we got to the scene where Killmonger challenges T'Challa to the fight, she's like, I'm like, what? Let me guess. He wins, and then T'Challa comes back at the end. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, I've seen enough. I'm ready to see the next one.
Oh, dear.
I mean, she's not wrong. It was very predictable from that point forward in the movie.
Black Panther is great. It's a great movie, but it does fall into those Marvel phase 1, phase 2 tropes.
Yes, very much. The similar villains fighting at the, or similar hero villain fight at the end. A lot of CGI in the fight.
Some of that CGI wasn't that good. I mean,
no, I will say that that cat fight at the end, the CGI
Literally,
does not
yeah.
hold up, which it's so weird compared to a lot of their other things.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I just still like it's the crux of the movie, and it's still like bothers me. I don't think the character T'Challa that they portrayed to that point would have accepted the challenge. But
You don't think so?
no, because they were showing him as a father. I mean, as a son trying to do his father proud, do the right thing by his nation, keep to the tradition, and they probably would have looked at him as an outsider.
But he didn't have a choice.
No,
There's that whole thing there's that whole thing of honor.
I kind of feel the movie would have been better if they didn't do the beginning ceremony. There really wasn't a need for that. Like, he's already king. Killmonger shows up and wants to challenge him, and T'Challa's like trying to like brush him off, and because he brought in Claw and got what's the friend's name, the lead of the water tribe.
I forget.
Okay,
betrays him.
Yeah, like gets him on his side, and then so the water tribe is like, okay, accept the challenge, and then so now the nations are like starting to separate because of this. So then he has to accept the challenge. Then it would have been more dramatic at that point. But that was just he just showed up. It's like, I challenge. He's like, okay, let's do this. Like
again, he had to though. There was that thing of honor. Like he couldn't have somebody sitting around going, I have a claim to the throne. He had to take care of it right then and there.
But I also kind of felt that was silly too. Like it's one of the things that the director's name.
Oh my God! If I'd known that you were going to go over this, like I would have had all this information.
Coogler did really well. He kept what their traditions were unclear, because he was a cousin. So does a cousin like in a lot of other royal families, he probably wouldn't have had a direct claim to the throne. But like when you think of like England and France and other royal lineages.
But to be fair, people like it's not like history isn't littered with people with illegitimate claims to the throne.
True.
Storming the gates and trying to legitimize illegitimate claims. So I mean, it makes sense in that regard.
Right, but in that regard, he also probably like in a historical sense, he wouldn't have accepted the challenge. But
again, he had to do it because, like JD said, like history's littered.
I think it would have been better if they built up to that, where he kind of just showed up and it challenged.
Well,
him.
yeah. Again, that movie was paint by the numbers, so
exactly.
It's like now's time to do this. Now's time to do that. They didn't have a director that would take his time and build, and like you said, build up to that stuff. It's just the four quadrants says it's time.
He was definitely given a lot of freedom
third act
on it. Like,
Fallout or whatever
he was.
Like you can't fault the visuals on it. You can't fault the acting. You can't fault the.
No, I mean, like the formula works. So they kept everyone in it. Like, especially in that time. Today, maybe we don't get it. And quite frankly, I think Killmonger, of those villains that does the thing, Killmonger's the best.
He is.
So I mean, it gets some. There's some leeway with me because he's got the best origin as far as like a villain goes, right? And like he's got the most sympathetic origin too. Right, it's hard not to watch. Like when you watch Michael B. Jordan walking down, looking at this, like this could all be mine if my dad didn't do what he did, right? And so you get that sense of like from a kid who has nothing to get that sense of entitlement. Like I really like that character. I think Coogler does a good job building that up. It's very much like a King's like a take on the Emperor
with that, and I feel
I know, yeah.
But not just sympathetic. He was right.
No.
I mean like.
Depends on your definition of right.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, they kept all that technology for themselves all that time when they could have been helping.
Yeah, but I think the point of that
through all the slave years and everything, they could have been doing something, but they didn't. All to basically, protect themselves. But he had a valid argument for why they should never have, they should never have pulled in. And and basically shut themselves off from the rest of the world. But they could have been helping the whole time.
But the argument from Wakanda's side is because they didn't, that's why they're as advanced as they are.
Mm-hmm.
If they had given everything away, they would just be another part of them.
But the rest of the world. It wasn't just the advances. It was helping their people.
It's also the sense of that we now live in a global world where isolationism doesn't work and it doesn't help you grow. Like it's very much very, God, I don't want to use this term because it's going to get so taken out of context. I don't want to
use it.
Globalist is a dirty word, right? Because it means something that it shouldn't mean. But like, we live in a global world, and it's advocating, you know, the one world, one people thing. Now, if you want to interpret that as New World Order or whatever, that's on you. But I mean, we do live in a world where what goes on in one country affects another, and being an isolationist is not a good thing, right? And I think it does advocate that, especially in an era where that kind of a story was kind of necessary, you know?
Right. And again, I'm not disagreeing with all that. It's just the crux of the story where he accepted the challenge. But I mean, and again, I think the Wakandan side of it is we're this advanced because we didn't get involved. But it's also a comic book story. Like, you couldn't get away with that in the real world to be for that long, you know, to be
True.
isolated and no one knows what's going on in your country. Like, yeah, wait, they don't produce anything, they don't trade, and yet they have a king that can wear a suit and fight crime. Like, what's going on here?
That's why.
It's a very well managed country.
It's also fiction, right? It's also fiction.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of it. Is in fiction, that
Anything's
stuff can
possible.
exist. Yeah, as long as you try to back it up, it all works.
Yeah. So, speaking of backing things up,
we haven't even started the show yet.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little social media madness.
Let's hurry up because I want to get some more wine.
Oh my God. Get your wine. Anyway, we talked last week about Henry Cavill has come out and said he's excited to play an enormously joyful Superman going forward.
Okay, I can do All-Star Superman would be perfect, you know? As long as they get rid of the mustache.
Hashtag CMFL, who's at CMFL? I don't know.
CMFL.
CMFL.
It's just the letter CMFL.
Oh my God, it is CMFL. I always thought that Cavill could have been a Superman that rivaled Christopher Reeve. Had he played the character more like his tutor's character, Charles Brandon, Zack Snyder made him unnecessarily dark.
Dude, I read that and I thought it said it made him like his tutor's character, Charles Bronson. And I'm like, I've missed out on this show, man. Jeez.
Yeah, don't you remember Charles Bronson was part of the Tudors?
That would be quite interesting and very near, was it Brightburn, right? I mean, like,
yes, which is kind of what Zack Snyder wanted to do with him, is make him more like Charles Bronson. Now that I think about it,
yeah, it's about right.
The Man of Steel.
First enemy he comes up against, he snaps his neck. I mean,
that is a Bronson move, to be fair.
AJ said, AJ, who's at I am not shouting, said the only man for the job, in my honest opinion. Then our good friend Kassan Warren had tweeted, he said, I just watched the new Enola Holmes. The second is better than the first, and Henry Cavill makes an excellent Sherlock Holmes.
That's saying something.
The ending opens the possibility for a Sherlock Holmes spinoff. I can't believe I'm saying that, and gives good reason for Henry leaving. The Witcher, the writers of Enola seem to have found a rhythm. I can see a dedicated staff for Enola and Sherlock production. Enola 2 on an 8 out of 10. So interesting.
Well, no,
because we were talking about Enola Holmes on the show, but yeah, I mean, obviously he's not going to do any of that.
The first season was awesome. If the second is better, I haven't gotten to it yet.
I haven't watched it yet.
But
either.
he plays it. And we, just for balance, we've already got 2 Sherlock Holmes in the Marvel universe. We need at least 1 in the DC.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, it's true. I get you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I know Benedict Cumberbatch
and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, they both played Sherlock Holmes, and both
right.
very good Sherlock Holmeses too. I mean,
well,
no, I'm sorry. There's nothing you could say that's going to convince me otherwise. They both.
I like the Robert Downey Jr. movies, but
I like the Cumberbatch show. It's a different take.
Right.
They take a lot of liberties, I think, with the Robert Downey Jr. movies, though.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, I don't know. When you hire what's his nuts, Snatch guy. Why can't I think of his name? Guy Ritchie. You're gonna get that. I mean, he's very style over substance.
So you weren't here last week. We did talk about how he's left The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to finish the
he's
show
all
out.
in.
He's all in to play Superman.
Basically, weren't there reports that were saying like he was just itching to sit down with James Gunn and just say,
Gunn's right. Gunn's writing Superman. Gunn's doing Superman.
Yeah.
It's not official, but Gunn's doing Superman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from his history, like he's going to push everybody out of his way to do it.
So it's funny because it's a 4-year deal, but they also in the same announcement, like the article I was reading was talking about how it was they went in a 10-year plan. So I'm kind of wondering if it's like they're giving them 4 years to do something, and if it works, they'll continue them on.
For sure, you want a 10-year plan, but I mean, like if the boat sinks, you don't do much more with the plan,
right?
No one has a 10-year guaranteed contract, but you want to say that you want that business plan, right? You want that 5-year business house with that 5-year plan, right? We want to see that. Warner wants to see it. Give me your plan for 5 years. We'll give you 4. If those first 4 go well, we'll re-sign you. It's worked fine for 5. Did we report? I missed the show last week, and I don't like listening when I'm not on because I don't want you guys bad mouthing me like we do about Grady.
Oh, good. I mean,
we bad mouth him in front of him, and he doesn't listen.
I'm kidding.
Did
you guys talk about how I made a joke and I lost my point. My spot. Oh, did you guys talk? I don't remember what I was going to say now.
Something about Feige?
Oh yeah, they offered Feige the spot first, and he said no, I'm good.
No, I didn't even see that article. The one I did see, I didn't include, was the first person that Gunn called was Feige.
No, they actually before Gunn and Safran were given the job, they offered it to Kevin Feige. They were like, "Would you like to come across?" Kind of like with Kirby, right? They pulled the Kirby move.
There's no.
Well, Kirby took it. Kirby took it.
Yeah, but Kirby wasn't happy.
Yeah,
at Marvel. No, I know. Feige's, but I respect them for getting a no. Right? You always get a no. Never hurts to ask. You never know. Right?
True. It's kind of ballsy to ask him.
But with with everything that Feige's got going on right now, and he's like, I mean, I'm sure even Mickey Mouse is just sitting there going, do whatever you want. I'm not even going to bother. Like Feige's got his own fiefdom.
He does.
And anything he says is like, it goes from him to God to Mickey Mouse.
But you never know. You never know. So like that day, he could have just had an argument that day with, who's in charge of Disney these days? I want to say Bob Iger, but that might be the 1980s talking. So I'm not sure who's in charge of Disney at the moment. But I mean, like, yeah.
It's that guy no one likes. What's his name?
Bob Chapek.
That is
Bob Chapek. Yeah. Like, I think he took over for Robert Iger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that far off. But yeah, you never know.
And then we had Michael Eisner a long time ago.
Michael Eisner, it was Mike Ovitz before that. Yeah, they're all,
he's the guy that got booed at D23 this year.
Yeah.
That's Eisner, so
yeah.
Fair enough.
But anyway, like, but yeah, I respect him. I respect him for throwing out the line. Hey, you want this? You want that? No, okay. Just thought to ask.
All right. Well, moving along. We've got Drew's running commentary.
Drew's abstract thoughts on the show.
Yes. Let's see. For Werewolf by Night, I'm glad they went more subtle with the werewolf for future appearances. It will allow him to be more sympathetic, and I wouldn't want a big CGI werewolf. It was exactly what I wanted from the movie.
Thank you, Drew.
Hard disagree.
I fully agree with Drew.
For the DCEU, I agree with this week's guests. I don't plan on investing in the movies till their consistency that shows. I will be rewarded for my investment. Most recent assessments of BA are around
Baracus. He's talking about Mr. T.
Around the high C range. I'm not. Black Adam. Duh. Around the high C range. I'm not rushing to see it. Okay.
Drew and I agree on almost everything. Apparently,
all this back and forth about #Restore Snyderverse is why I'm against Cavill Return. It's internal brand confusion that will make sense if you watch Ezra Miller's Flashpoint. I have been in and out of the DCU stuff for a decade. I just want to know where I should start from.
From right now.
And I hope it's not Ezra Miller's Flashpoint, because I'm not supporting that movie. Talk about Curse 2.
Yeah, they're going to want you to support. This is why they're doing it. This is why they're not firing Ezra Miller, because they got too much invested in this thing. They're not going to restore the Snyderverse. They're going to DC this. They're going to reboot. They're going to, as I've always said, rebirth it is a good phrasing, actually. As I've always said on this show, the DC is the continuity salad bar. They're going to take what they like and discard the rest. which pretty much they did for Suicide Squad 2 or the Suicide Squad, and made for an enjoyable watch, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. They kept the stuff people liked from the first Suicide Squad movie, threw the
Harley.
rest of it away.
Amanda Waller.
And the Flag.
Yeah, Flag was good. Yeah. They killed him.
And the Weasel. and the Weasel.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I enjoyed the Suicide Squad, right? I liked that movie. And I liked Peacemaker a whole lot. So,
yeah.
And that's technically Snyderverse stuff. And I like Black Adam. It was stupid. Black Adam is on the scale of like Godzilla Kong, right?
As long as they don't call the next Superman movie The Superman, I'm good.
I don't think they would do that.
It doesn't have enough giant monsters fighting for me to excuse the rest of it.
The Rock is a giant monster. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but what was he fighting?
A giant monster.
Yeah, sure, right.
I don't know. Like I said, it's not
giant CGIs he's fighting.
Well, everyone fights giant CGIs. That's what we watch these movies for. It's actors just do this. I'm pantomiming against the green screen. Like they all do that. It's all the same stuff.
So apparently, I heard that the reason the movie's not doing as well as it should is because there was no jungle scenes.
So, okay, highest Dwayne Johnson opening ever. This is his best movie.
Okay, I believe it.
Like I think we're trying to compare it to what Marvel stuff does.
Yes.
Instead of what the lead has done. Like this is the best thing he's ever done, financially speaking, from a damaged property.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to lower the bar a little bit. It's a Shazam spin-up, and it wasn't like Shazam tore it up at the box office either, you know?
No, it did not, unfortunately.
It was fun though.
So it was fun.
I like Shazam.
Yeah. That one I like too.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't I read something that The Rock doesn't like that one though?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't like the Shazam.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He is
he doesn't
not
like
a fan
that
of the Shazam movie. And
probably because of the tone.
Right.
Because it's not, I don't think he didn't like this scene. I don't think he wanted what he saw as Black Adam to be in that movie, which quite honestly, I agree with. What Black Adam has grown into over the last 20 years in the comics is very different than what works in Shazam. Like Shazam is a child wish fulfillment story.
Yep.
Right. And Black Adam started off as the dark version of that. But then in the comics, he really got to grow as his own character, separate from that. And I think that's okay. Like, I think that Black Adam and Shazam can function as like two its own things, even though they have those ties, right? I'm trying to think of another comparison that I could draw, but I'm not coming up with one at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't know if...
Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four, right? The Silver Surfer is technically part of the Fantastic Four catalog, but he can exist on his own, do his own thing.
I agree. And I think the Silver Surfer Fantastic Four is a little... It's not as great comparison because again, it was made as a dark version of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I've said this before, I think it's confusing to the normies. Like he's saying Shazam, it's the same wizards, and yet
stupid.
Okay, that goes
Shazam? So that's Jeff Johns' dumbass fault for making the character not Cap. Like this is, I mean, like honest to God, it's because you can't call him Captain Marvel. He's Captain Marvel, but we can't call him Captain Marvel. So I mean, like back in the 70s, they started calling the property Shazam, right? And that's where the market. I mean, this is like 50-year-old market, 70-year-old market.
Yeah,
they're still trying to pick up the slack on, and they're like they think calling him Shazam is the way around it. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. And this is like what you're left with in comics sometimes. Is sometimes when you try to stream DC specifically, when they try to streamline stuff, they oftentimes make it more confusing. When I say oftentimes, I mean every time.
The funny thing is, my introduction to Captain Marvel was the 1970s live action show Shazam that ran next to ISIS.
The one they drove around in the pedo wagon.
Yes, yeah, and the thing was, everybody who watched that knows him as Shazam. They don't know him as Captain. So
that's why they changed his name to Shazam.
Didn't make a difference to us,
right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Right, and then, but again, if you look at those. And I don't know if everybody would. I don't know if there is a market for reading those 40s. Like at the time when Captain Marvel outsold Superman, because he did for the back half of the war and into the 50s.
Because it was perfect wish, like you said.
Wish fulfillment, wish fulfillment. Like Superman is who they wanted to be, but Captain Marvel let them go through the process of it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
The kids could be Billy and Billy could be Shazam. It's a great concept that I still feel is news. I don't like the current Shazam property, to be quite honest with you. I don't like the Shazam kids. I think it's too much. Like I like the Shazam movie. It's fun, but I'd rather it just be about Billy. Right.
Yeah.
And that's my big beef with it. So, I mean, like, one thing I think Black Adam did right was, like, it kept the focus pretty much. I mean, like, they have other side characters that are helping move the story, but it's his story. Right. I think that too much of Shazam kind of gets bogged down in the kids. And that's, Jeff Johns overthinking shit, same as always.
Yeah. So,
But one of the best DC animated shows was
Batman the Animated Series.
Well, besides that, and Superman the Animated Series,
That is also good.
and
Justice
all the
League.
others that came with. But it was the Shazam animated movie with Superman in it.
Oh, with the one with Black Adam.
Yeah, and Black
Yeah,
Adam,
that's good.
right?
Yeah, I do.
And
like
it was excellent. It was called Superman Shazam: The Return of Black Adam.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
all right.
really, really freaking good.
It works for an animated thing, but you can't make that the movie, right? Like, you can't parallel that in making a movie out of it.
Well, you can now because Henry Cavill's back.
You can now, fair, but I mean, like, you couldn't launch the property.
Right. Yeah.
true. Speaking of properties that we're excited to see their continue, bad
Extra.
segue. Did you see the trailer for the holiday special, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
I did.
Before I read the
And?
tweets, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I thought it was great. Did we not like it?
Oh yeah, no, we loved it.
Oh, I thought it was great. Kevin Bacon. Like,
John
Just talk-
John was wondering what this does to 12 degrees or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon going
blows
forward.
the fuck out of it. That's what it does.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Game
It's
is
like
now
2 degrees
3.
of bacon now.
Yeah, the game
Right?
is now 2 degrees with Kevin Bacon. I
Right.
mean, it's. I love that it's essentially Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
That's
Mm,
the hook
a
of
little
Christmas Vacation. They're gonna bring him. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great, and I think that I don't know, Dave Bautista's Drax is just like, there's something about it that's just so rarely has a casting been so perfect. Right? He's so good as Drax. I love it.
So I'd asked the question in the tweet: does this change 12 degrees of Kevin Bacon? And I'm sorry, 6 degrees. And Random Randy Savage said the game always changes whenever he does a new movie.
That's a really good point.
And
Yeah.
now he can't play the guy who killed the only mutant whose power is not dying.
Darwin
Yep.
killed Darwin.
He killed Darwin in first class.
Which
I remember
never
sitting-
made any sense.
I sat there and I'm like, they really don't get him, do they?
Yeah.
Like, they could have picked anybody. There's thousands of X-Men. There's thousands of mutant characters.
Yeah.
They had to do that with the one guy whose power is he can't die. Like, poor research. Movie reviews from 10 years ago.
Is
I
it
did
poor
like
research or was it they were just trying to overpower Kevin Bacon's
Shaw,
character.
possibly. I
Shaw,
don't
yeah.
know. But he can't die. That's the whole thing. Like, there's a million overpowerful mutants he could have taken. Could have taken Maggot, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maggot has giant maggots. Could have taken Warlock.
Or well, they had plenty right there that they could have gotten rid of. I mean, the one with the butterfly wings. I forget what her name is. It's like
Angel.
Angel. Yeah.
Which isn't
Angel.
confusing because we had another guy named Angel right there.
Exactly. So they could have gotten rid of her. I mean,
I like
you know.
First Class, but it's not a perfect movie. It works because McAvoy and Fassbender are so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. And then finally, we did talk about Black Adam. And, of course, we reviewed the movie a couple weeks ago. And Random Randy Savage said, if you came for the rebuilding of the DCEU, you are mistaken. If you came to watch The Rock's Homelander audition tape, you're going to have a good time.
Fair. I think that's fair.
Yep.
Is it? I don't think he's as bad as Homelander.
He's not as bad as Homelander. He does kill a lot of people.
Yep.
Yes, he does. That's what makes him so great. I mean, all right. Well, that's it for Social Media Madness this week. So, if you would like to be a part of Social Media Madness,
why would
and
you
follow
want
us on social media? Here's our good D. Here's our good friend.
Here's our good D for you. Stick it right in.
Oh God.
Here's our good friend Square. To tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast as well as some other great content. Check the site often because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at SuperheroSpeak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at @stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for hashtag GWAllstars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
Thanks for that, Don. And don't forget, you can still go check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast available on YouTube. All the episodes are still up there for you to enjoy. He's going to podcast when he feels like it. Obviously, be guests on shows like ours, like he was last week. I'm sure he'll be popping up on Gorilla Brain in the future at some point. So go check out his. On that note, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we are back with the news. There is not a lot of news to talk about this week, guys. And something from last week that I forgot to include. But the first one, Quentin Tarantino comes out and says he will never direct a Marvel movie.
Did he say that before or after Werewolf by Night? Because
he said that the directors are just hired hands.
Quite frankly, I think this is one of those cases where everybody working can say, good, it's a bad fit.
Yeah.
He is a terrible fit for the MCU. Like, I can't see anyone going, oh, I would love to see a Quentin Tarantino Marvel movie. Like,
there'll be so much talking, and you'll be looking at who's the new Black Widow, Yelena, who's playing Florence Pugh's feet for an hour. Like,
her feet, right?
Like, the only character for a half a second you could think he could get away with is Punisher.
I don't even know about that.
And I don't and I don't even know if that would work. And it's just like, yeah, no, like he's not he's not a fit. It's like Kevin Smith, Kevin Smith would not fit in the MCU either.
There's really no.
Have you read his comics?
He's a great comic writer, but I don't think he could direct a big budget.
Oh, I agree with that. He'll tell you that too. Yeah.
So yeah, like
I could think I wouldn't mind seeing Robert Rodriguez do it.
I saw comments on this and I kind of wondered, did he like pitch an idea to them and they were like, nah.
Well,
so he came out and said this.
I would have said no, but he was going to do a Star Trek movie for the longest time, and then that didn't happen, and that was weird in of itself.
Yeah.
I wonder what Quentin Tarantino could have done with Squirrel Girl.
Ugh. Destroyer?
I'm going to leave that alone. I have no answers for that are not. Yes, lots of shots on her. It's too bad we're never going to get the AT&T girl playing Squirrel Girl, because that was spot on casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Good thing.
The voice of her in the cartoon.
I think she did in the cartoon, but she was going to play her in live action. It just never worked out. Quentin Tarantino would have big, long shots on her toes. And it would just be weird. And then like Eli Roth would kill Dr. Doom. It would just be odd.
There's a cosplayer that we've talked to a couple of times and we've interviewed a few times. Ricky Lakota. She could play Squirrel Girl. She looks like Squirrel Girl.
Can she act? I'll leave that out there. Just because I hate this idea, just because someone looks like somebody, they could play them in.
No, it's not. Well, like, no, she's got a lot more on the ball, I think, than most of the cosplayers.
So she act.
She also actually rehabilitates squirrels. So she's
that's a notch in the column. But acting, man.
Speaking of looking like someone posted this today, and I will never get this image out of my head now. Someone said if they ever do a movie about the formation of Image Comics, Christian Bale should play Todd McFarlane.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. 1,000%.
Okay, I don't understand this one, but
because Christian Bale's a great actor who's really good at playing assholes,
and he looks like Christian Bale.
Yeah, he got a yes.
I mean, he looks like Todd McFarlane. They look alike. I'm like, oh my god,
I'm with you.
I can't unsee it now. It's like, yeah, like definitely, yeah.
Yeah, young Damon could have played Liefeld. I don't know about now. I have to think about that.
Maybe he's too old.
Not now. No, he's too old now. We have to find someone young. Actually, it'd be an interesting story. The Image. Hell, if what I just saw can be a movie, the Image story can be a movie.
Do it like the movie we just watched.
I think that's how the story would come from those guys, anyway.
All right, moving on. We all saw this last week, and then I forgot to include it. So It's not confirmed, but apparently sources close to the production have said Sacha Baron Cohen is joining the MCU in the Ironheart series as Mephisto.
I feel vindicated. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Well, we talked about Mephisto coming on forever, and then we gave up. And Dave's like, well, they're never do it because of China. Never gonna do it because of China. They said, fuck the Chinese. We're doing this.
Good. Right, because the Chinese do not like depictions of Satan, basically.
Yet they work with Jeff Bezos. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
or Apple. I mean,
Elon Musk. Pick one. Pick your favorite.
Anyway,
I just got kicked off Twitter.
Anyway,
oh man, I have to talk about that at some point.
I do think it's interesting that though he is going to be in the series, the Ironheart series.
What a weird choice, by the way.
He's
to have Mephisto in that show.
No, putting Mephisto in Ironheart. I don't get that. I mean, I haven't seen the show, so. But I mean, just on the surface, it seems weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
I mean, it's so funny because I'm not a huge fan of his, but I can see him playing Mephisto.
Well, no,
100%. Yeah.
He's a character actor. He'll blend himself into being Mephisto. Yeah. Like
I've seen very few characters he's played where I'm like, oh, I really like that.
Well, and he'll chew the scenery. Like he's gonna Mephisto is very much Mick Jagger's like sympathy for the devil character brought to life, right?
Yeah.
Like the character in that song is absolutely Marvel's Mephisto. And I could totally see Sacha Baron Cohen really doing the full on, 10 times Pacino in The Devil's Advocate,
Oh my God, that's right. I remember that.
It's a good movie, actually.
Talk about chewing the scenery, though.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's all Pacino does now.
Yeah, I know.
He played that part in Scent of a Woman, and he hasn't stopped for 30 years. Yeah, that's what he's done. Like, he was a really subtle actor at one point. Then he did that, and he brought that character back in Heat, and that's like it. That's what Al Pacino did for the next 30 years.
And people
he just did this all the time. But Sacha Baron Cohen will absolutely embrace that and be way over the top and make a threatening but not too threatening devil, because I think that's the thing is I think if you're going to bring in the devil, he's got to be you can't my personal favorite depiction of Mephisto in the MCU is actually Joe Quesada's in One More Day. His art renderings on Mephisto are legit spooky and scary, which is very much at the antithesis of how Mephisto is usually played in that universe.
Right.
Yeah, because he's the monologuing king.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's absolutely so I think they will go to the more typical portrayals of Mephisto, say Starlin's version of Mephisto in the Infinity Gauntlet, where he's bowing before Thanos and really going over the top and being kind of snide on the lowdown, which I could see. So it's a good choice. If this is real, I think it's a good call.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen his version of Freddie Mercury for Bohemian Rhapsody.
I don't know. Everyone seems to really love Rami Malek. What's his name?
Malik Rami? No, Rami Malek.
Mr. Roboto. Or Mr. Robot. Excuse me. Mr. Roboto was Styx. Mr. Robot.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, he was good. I won't take that away from him, but
it was supposed to be Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently they were already filming, and then creative differences, and he left.
Rami Malek, by the way.
Rami Malek. And it was something like that. There's some footage floating around that perhaps we'll see one day. Much like oh God, what's his name? The guy who played Mask, Rocky Dennis, who's originally in Back to the Future. Mask, Rocky Dennis, the guy with the elephantitis, who was originally cast as Marty McFly in Back to the Future. I can't think of his name.
That was the one with Cher, right?
Yes. And that guy went on he was the original Marty McFly, and they fired him up 2 weeks in, or 6 weeks in.
6 weeks in. They filmed a lot with him.
Yeah, before they brought in Michael J. Fox.
It's so funny.
Coincidentally, he's in Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's most famous movie.
What's funny with that is if you watch the side-by-side comparisons of the scenes,
you
can see Michael J. Fox.
Doesn't work.
It's not that he was a bad actor. It just doesn't work for the tone they wanted for the movie.
Miscast. He was miscast. And that happens sometimes. You get the wrong guy in to play it. They cast a star or something. When in that case, cast Marty McFly could have been no one else could have played him.
Yeah.
Did you find the name? This is going to drive me nuts.
Of the guy who was originally in Mask?
No, who was originally Marty McFly. I'll do it. Everyone's yelling at their computer.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
at their-
Eric
at their listen.
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz. I knew it was someone with an
That's
E. Yeah.
There's no way.
Didn't work. That's why
Yeah.
they never let the footage out. The only footage we've seen is those like silent side by sides. Like you've never actually seen his performance.
No, that's that is true.
Yeah, there's no way he would have made. There's just no freaking way he would have. No.
All right,
Moving right along.
moving along. I'm gonna mess this name up.
Yahya.
Well, that's
Yahya. Is it
Yahya.
Yahya?
I know a guy with that name.
Abdul Mateen
Mhm.
the second. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second, who played, of course, Black Manta in the Aquaman movie, is currently in talks. Hasn't been cast yet, though a lot of people have already cast him in to play Wonderman in the MCU. I'm wondering, do we need a Wonderman?
No, the Marvel Comics universe doesn't need a Wonder Man. But I mean, if they have a story, what's in here? Okay, here's what you could do with Wonder Man.
Isn't Wonder Man like one of the ones that they just kick around? Like, what
Kinda.
was it? Who's the name of that?
Well, he died, right?
Was it?
He died in his first issue, and he comes back. Wonder Man always kind of comes back.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a DC hero that every once in a while they say, "Oh, we need some stakes," so they bring a guy back, and who was it? He was on the CW too. Vibe. Every time they need a guy to kill, they just bring him back. Oh, he's back to life, and then they kill him again.
It's been a while, but they also did the whole story where his personality got infused with Vision.
The brainwaves, Vision's brain, like in the comic, the Vision's brainwaves are patterned off Wonder Man.
Right.
So there was this love triangle between Wanda, Vision, and Wonder Man. Because
we didn't do that in the MCU. So,
but we could flip it.
Can we?
We could flip it here. You can use Wonder Man to have a thing with Wanda now, and you can incorporate the new Vision into that. Right? There's a way you can do that in reverse.
But the way Vision has all of the original Vision's memories,
but none of
now
his
it says
none of
thing.
But none of his personality, right?
Yeah.
None of his memories, like none of the emotional ties. But that could be because that's the story of the White Vision is he finds those things.
Right.
So you could do that, and and that's the whole argument is he's an android, so he can be remade. But
Well, he's an android without the Mind Stone, and the Mind Stone the Mind Stone was what gave him the ability to feel emotion, I guess, is what they were trying to get at.
But that's a plot device, so you could come up with another plot device to do
Right,
that.
and that's also just the MCU version.
That is, and there's a way you can do it. I mean, there's a way you can do it. Like, Simon Williams as a character hasn't really been in prominence in like 30 years. Like I know Busick and Perez used him on their version of the Avengers, but I mean, like he really kind of peaks in the 80s.
Yeah,
Was he ever
when
really
Byrne
good?
does that?
Was he ever like important?
Yeah, I mean, like to the WandaVision story, he plays a role because
but by
it's
himself?
one of the but it's one, and it's he loves Wanda, but he can't have her. She'd rather have a robot with his brain than him.
Yeah, but we've already got that.
And I also kind of feel like he would also work.
And
if you take the storyline of him being like a head of a company and he's bored and he wants to get superpowers, like that works if he's a foil or a counterpart to
and there's also
Iron Man.
What also works too is if you do the actor Simon, because Simon Williams also has a film career. You could do that. I mean, there's a lot you could do with it. I'm of the mind that the best stuff to do with him is anything involving Wanda. And I do wonder if they're holding Wanda for Young Avengers. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. Simon Williams is a weird one because like there's not a lot of great Simon Williams stories. There's not.
I mean, don't forget, we also talked about the rumor the next series is going to be White Vision or Vision.
Vision Quest.
Vision Quest, is that what it's called?
They've announced it, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. When we talked about it last week, it was still just a rumor. So,
well, it's a very persistent rumor. If it's
I mean, if it has a title, Vision Quest, that means they've officially announced it. So,
confirmed Vision Quest. Oh, that's in Spanish. Marvel will continue the story of Wanda and Vision's own TV show titled Vision Quest. Paul Bettany will return the role. There's multiple sources via Deadline. Deadline confirms it.
Oh, okay.
If that's confirmed, they must have like Paul Bettany tied up in a basement somewhere because he would spill the beans in a half a second.
We're just going to pay him more.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Here's money.
So
shut the fuck
up. Are they going to now tie them together somehow?
No, I think for this story is you do Vision and what he is, because I think you should hold Wanda till the Young Avengers and let the kids find her. Right. I think this should be Vision's story of Vision finding himself, and he needs to find himself with.
No. Could you incorporate Wonderman into his show though?
Oh, Yeah, I think you could. I do. Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, I think it could be done.
Yeah, and then maybe make the love triangle that way.
Good.
Where they become friends, and then Wanda comes back and doesn't want to be with Vision because, whatever reason. And it
could. I mean, that's also how the Vision gets over Wanda, is that he is reprogrammed. I don't know. There's a lot you could do. I don't know. I don't know where they're going. Comics is that giant wheel that always turns. So, but they have a good chemistry,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. Yeah. Elizabeth Hurley.
Sorry.
She didn't have good chemistry with anybody. She's a terrible actress.
Yeah.
Terrible. Looked pretty in the 90s. Terrible actress.
She did okay in Austin
what?
Powers. And was it the one
she plays the straight man off of Mike Myers who's talking about chewing scenery?
Right. But what was the other one with what's his name?
Brendan Fraser, where she plays the devil?
Right.
She's terrible in that. She's just, look at me, I'm hot.
With Brendan Fraser, she was okay.
Because Brendan Fraser's really good. When you're surrounded by good co-stars, they can level up a bad there's No, there's a reason why her career never took off, looking the way she did.
All right. Well, speaking of things that have taken off, and you're going to have to start catching up, JD, apparently. They have finally greenlit season 2 of Sandman.
Cool.
Good.
I still have not watched the last couple episodes.
Good. I mean, you should watch the next few episodes, and then we'll see. Like if they continue on the way they've done it, they've got a good base to build on now. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'll watch it.
I don't think JD's ever going to watch it.
That's okay. Sometimes it's your thing. Sometimes it isn't.
He's quiet. Did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
Besides, you've got a printer to
add.
fight with, so.
I hate that fucking thing.
What?
That printer.
Oh.
I hate it so much.
All right. Well, actually, hold on. Sorry, I had to cough.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we can do this last bit really quick because John didn't see it. But we're going to talk about the greatest movie in all of cinema history.
How to Train Your Dragon?
How to Train Your Dragon is really good. Andy was Hiccup for Halloween this year. It is an excellent movie, John. You were right about
that. Is currently available for free.
Makes me
on
cry
the Roku channel.
time.
And that's, of course,
Citizen Kane.
Radcliffe in Weird, the Al Yankovic.
Okay. JD?
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen this movie.
I know. So you get to play the role I've been playing lately.
Well, no, you told me to say I haven't seen this movie.
Oh, yeah, I tell you.
Gonna...
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a bit planned an hour ago. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
We're doing a whole show. I don't remember.
I'm the one who's been through 2 glasses of wine, so
Fair. I got
all right. So real quick, JD, real quick, what were your initial reactions off
bonkers? This movie is absolutely bananas.
Based on real life.
No, it is not based on real life.
In the littlest bit.
Not even a shred of reality in this. All I'm going to say this movie is I hope Madonna can take a joke.
Oh, you know the first time I saw Weird Al in concert was when he was sitting there on the floor writhing around like Madonna.
Did you know? John, did you know that that's also when he had his Jim Morrison moment and exposed himself with his accordion?
Oh, not surprised.
That is according.
No, that's
according to that movie.
It's so funny because there are so many parody of other movies in this movie.
Here's what this is. Here's what this is.
Well, have you seen?
Hold on. This movie is to movies what a Weird Al song is to music.
Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. It is. Okay, here's what I would say. If you don't get Weird Al's humor, this probably isn't a movie for you.
Very few people don't get that.
Oh no, this movie, they play it straight. They play this movie straight.
Yes.
Andy, you're not talking
no, I mean
UHF?
No, it's not like UHF, which was clearly a comedy. They play this like it's Walk the Line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then they do
everyone's
everyone's being serious with a wink, but not like over the top. Like they play this pretty straight, but it's ridiculous, and that's why.
And that's where the humor comes from.
My 6-year-old thought this was legit. Like Andy was like, he was getting mad. He's like, why won't Weird Al Yankovic's dad just let him be himself?
Which is funny because, like, if you've ever read some stuff about him or watched Behind the Music, like, his parents encouraged him since he was a little kid to be himself and do what made him happy. This is the complete opposite.
Because that's what you would do in these movies. Like, you don't understand me or my music. Like, he goes off to this party in high school, and of course it's a polka party, but it's treated like a 70s party, and they're like talking about like the great music of the day. Like, they should be talking about, you know, Zeppelin and stuff like that, and they're talking about polka. And like, it's freaking great. And Daniel Radcliffe plays this thing so earnestly. Okay, John, Madonna is the villain.
I have to see this.
Who's only manipulating Al because she wants the bump that her music will get if he parodies her.
Like a surgeon.
Because he becomes the most popular, well-selling artist of all time in the movie. Like,
which isn't far from the truth.
Well, he has all the cliches of rock and roll lifestyle, and like Dr. Demento slips him some ice cream with LSD. And
wait, Dr. Demento's in this too?
Rainn Wilson plays Dr. Demento.
Rainn Wilson plays Dr. Demento. Jesus. Oh my God. And he's perfect as him
phenomenal.
Too.
He looks just like him.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody listening to this, you have to look up Dr. Demento. You have to, especially Taekwon Leap. But there's so many other things, so many other skits, like fish heads and so many, but you have to. There's too much going. This is God. I got to see this. They introduced Dr. Demento to it. This is awesome.
He's his mentor. Like they play him as his mentor.
That would work too.
But it's ridiculous how they do it.
And Weird Al's in the movie too.
Yeah, he plays one of the Scotti brothers, the publisher, the
record company
execs. Like, and Will Forte is the other one going, "You're just a loser." Like, it's so.
And I can't think of his name.
Movie, basically.
I can't think of his name. The accordion salesman.
The accordion salesman is someone too. I can't remember who it was though at the moment.
Did they work in Badgers? We don't need no stinking Badgers.
No, nothing from UHF. There's nothing like that in this movie. Well, let's put it this way: Weird Al Yankovic has this horrendous. He's drinking and driving in the car, and he has this horrific car accident. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is a surgeon trying to save his life, and then he has the inspiration to do Like a Surgeon. And it's his big comeback, and then him and Madonna are having this terrible breakup when she's kidnapped by Pablo Escobar. So he has to kill all of Pablo Escobar's men and go into the jungle and save her. And then she's walking around with an eye patch and a scar. It's bizarre.
It takes this left turn out of nowhere because they're in the diner talking. She's trying to break up with him, and they just come in and kidnap her. And then he gets into this big fight in the diner. Then has to go to South America,
like an 80s Schwarzenegger style fight.
Yes,
complete with the quips and all that. And then he
rings the bell at the end after he beats around and goes, "Order up."
And then when he goes to Medellin to fight Pablo Escobar, he's got a camouflage Hawaiian shirt on. Like, it's so. It's Weird Al. Oh, and he's inspired to do Amish Paradise because his father was secretly Amish and wrote the lyrics to Amish Paradise. And then you see Coolio in the audience just pissed. It's you know what I like about this movie is it knows that the gimmick is wearing very thin the whole time. Every time you think, okay, this is getting a little much, they take this ridiculous left turn that gets you back in. It's like they were aware the whole time that this is literally a 5-minute skit that we're going to try to draw out into an hour and a half. And every time it starts getting a little long in the tooth, something comes at you.
But that's UHF, and that's basically Weird Al's entire career.
It is. You're right. But it's done like UHF was done for slapstick. This is just straight parody, right? Yeah. This is literally a parody of like Walk the Line. Or the Queen movie or the Elton John movie.
Yes.
Like, this is exactly what this is. And you got like this A-list actor playing him, and it's ridiculous on the side, but like he does a good job, right? Like Daniel Radcliffe does a good job playing.
I will never get the image of ripped Daniel Radcliffe out of my mind either, because like
he's shredded.
Oh my God, he's
shredded.
He's shredded.
Homie's in great shape. Like, and then like he's having a breakdown. He rides on stage, and they basically do like when Morrison got arrested in Miami for exposing himself. They redid that when he's got the accordion.
Wasn't that the first like really famous biop movie? Was The Doors?
The Doors, yeah.
And that's the big scene in the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of doors. There's a lot of like doors. There's a lot of Walk the Line. There's a lot of whatever the Queen movie is called.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, thank you. And like there's a lot of those little winks and nods. And there's so many famous people playing famous people. It's hilarious.
That's the party at Dr. Demento's house. Oh my God, that was great.
Did they have
Conan
anybody
O'Brien as Andy Warhol?
Did they have anybody playing CNR?
CNR.
You CNR. What's his name? The guy from the guy who did the oh shoot. Like he did Weird Al did a video called CNR. It was
no.
Oh, what was his name? He was a game show host guy.
No. If you're looking for logic in this and actual like what stuff that Weird Al had done, you are watching
Charles Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley. No, there's shockingly, there is no Charles Nelson Riley. There is Wolfman Jack.
Oh, Wolfman Jack, I remember him.
Do you know who plays Wolfman Jack? Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Oh, of course.
Was born to play Wolfman Jack.
Yes.
True.
I mean, it's the same person reincarnated, isn't it?
100%. And it's like there's this scene, and they have I forget who's playing Brian May, or not Brian May, the bass
Deacon.
player from Queen, Deacon, and like he's saying, "Come on, we're gonna go. Let's catch the bus." And he has this moment of inspiration where he does another one, rides the bus. He actually wrote "Eat It" before Michael wrote "Beat It."
Right, Beat It is a parody of Eat It.
Of Eat It, but no one's ever going to believe that. Like, this is how ridiculous, and the movie plays it straight, and Madonna is the villain. Like, straight up, she is the antagonist, evil villain who, screw it, we're in spoiler territory, plots his assassination. By the way, Weird Al died in 1985, and Ronald Reagan presided over his funeral.
Yes!
Bro, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I loved every minute of it.
So what you're saying is they buried him on the same soundstage they used to fake the moon landing.
Yes.
A little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Died at the Grammys.
and that's the thing too, because like the movie ends, the assassin is he's at a award ceremony. And the assassin's pointing the gun.
And he's sitting in like the third row with this giant cannon, and nobody says a fucking word to him when he's loading this thing up.
And then you see Madonna on the radio go, "Take the shot."
Take the shot. But it's not just Madonna. She got an eye patch and a scar running down the side of her face.
And then it fades. He points the gun at him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And it fades to black. Then
died in 1985.
The credits start rolling. This is I started laughing at this.
Yeah.
They recreate. Well, first they're just showing real pictures of Weird Al as a kid growing up, right? Then all of a sudden they're recreating stuff from the movie. That's obviously photoshopped,
but with Weird Al's head.
Weird Al's head, until they get to the end where he's standing on stage and he's got a bullet hole through him and there's blood everywhere. It's the last picture, and it was like, "Are you
sure?
serious?"
This sounds a lot like UHF, dude. It's
but it's played straight. Like they play it like it's real.
Yes,
like it's played there. It's like my son thought he was watching a drama.
There are going to be kids that are going to go to school tomorrow and think this is really the story of Weird Al.
And we had to explain to Andy that this is a joke. This is not how Weird Al's dad was a very nice man who loved him, who encouraged his habits.
Okay, so Evan Rachel Wood played Madonna.
She's
because
great.
I was going to say,
good.
Like, because Madonna, I don't think she was really appreciative of him.
She was. She actually made the suggestion of like a surgeon, which he didn't like, but he said it was there, so he had to take it.
Huh.
Like,
okay.
His word was, "I hope she could take a joke. I think she could take a joke." That's what he said about the release. He's like, "Oh, I think Madonna could take a joke. I hope she could take a joke." Like,
oh my God.
This version of Madonna is straight up evil and like cliched, but it works great. And again, Evan Rachel Wood is like chewing on scenery the entire time and just so over the top and fantastic.
It's so good.
She's great in it.
That makes sense.
It's stupid. It's so stupid that it's brilliant.
Oh,
and every time it walks into being too dumb, they find something else, and you're like, "You got me back."
The first time he plays live, and he's just him on a stage with an accordion, and he's playing "I Love Rocky Road," right?
Mm-hmm.
And
at a punk bar.
at a biker bar, right?
Punk bar, something like that.
Punk bar, biker bar.
Yeah, same
and
thing. Patton Oswalt's.
Patton Oswalt's in the audience and he's heckling him, and then like he has these roommates that they encouraged him to do this, right? That's all they were just roommates, and then all of a sudden the one's like, oh, he's dying, and he gets up on stage and gets behind the drum set and starts playing, and then the other ones grab the bass and the guitar, and they're like.
He goes, I didn't know you can play. He goes, like, yeah, we all can play. Didn't seem relevant to tell you until now. Like stuff like that, but it's played straight. Like,
yeah.
Everyone in this movie is a straight man.
They had somebody play Pee Wee Herman in this.
Yes. And in this scene at Dr. Demento's barbecue, basically.
And Oprah Winfrey.
Yes, she's
and Connie
hilarious.
Chung out of nowhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's ludicrous. If you love the 80s, you will like this movie. Oh, at the end, it's how did they put this? Not the greatest, I don't want to be the greatest accordion player of all time, just the most famous one for playing a specific genre style of drum music. And he wins the award for that. It's between him and Prince, but they never announced it as Prince. And
but it's obviously Prince.
It's obviously Prince, and Prince loses and he just gets up and leaves. It's just so stupid and great. Like, it's free on the Roku channels. There's no reason not to watch it. It's so
and they inject commercials, but not too many.
It's not too bad. It's not egregious.
Yeah, but what do you want? It's free to watch. Oh, it's so good.
It was worth it. It's definitely worth the time. Like, we had a great time watching it as a family tonight. I thought it was going to be a little more like UHF. I was wrong. Like, I kept saying it's like Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Like, it's like with the Dewey. Imagine if the Dewey Cox story, like Walk Hard, played it a little bit more straight.
Yes.
Because Dewey Cox like got silly. This is like they play it more straight.
Definitely.
Like no one's winking and nodding to the camera.
No. Oh my God.
Wow.
Like he knew the exact tone that he wanted, much like his music, right? Like he did like Eat It and stuff like that, but he was doing all the Michael Jackson. He just changed the lyrics and made it funny. This is exactly like I keep comparing it to Walk the Line. He basically makes Walk the Line, but changes the spirit of it. But it's there. And in the third act, when it's getting a little long tooth, well, screw it. We'll just go to Medellin and fight Pablo Escobar.
This is only on Roku channel, huh?
It's only on Roku channel. T-Mobile actually is paid for the sponsorship of it.
Yes.
Well, geez, that means I don't think
you can get it on your computer. Just watch the Roku channel. It's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning.
Oh, John, I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like this movie. I think it's like right up your sensibilities.
I've been following Weird Al for ever since he was a thing. Like I used to make, Jesus Christ, I used to like hold a tape recorder up to the radio to record his stuff.
Wow, that's age. You showing your age there.
I know, right?
So I would not have watched this movie had Dave not said this is what we're covering for the show today. And I was like, I guess I'll watch this one. It's free. I did not like, again, I laughed at the trailer, but I was like, I don't know, how good can this really be? I mean, it works. Like it works. It's better and funnier and stupider somehow than it has any right to be.
I mean,
which is basically Weird Al Yankovic
in a nutshell. Like it's him. It's him.
I actually thought, and I'm being completely serious with this. So when Dr. Demento slips him the acid and he has the acid trip,
God,
obviously
that's a sentence.
Obviously he's saying the words to eat it in the acid trip, but I wasn't thinking about that. When he gets out of it, I thought they were just doing that as a joke, because when he gets out of it, he's like, I'm going to do all original music now.
Yeah.
And this is how straight they're playing the movie. I thought it was going to be one of his actual original songs, because like
Christmas at Ground Zero or something,
or Another Minute with You. Yeah, Dare to Be Stupid. Another minute. One more minute.
Is White Nerdy based on something or?
Yeah. What is it?
I haven't heard it in so long. It is. It's based on.
I'm waiting.
Riding Dirty.
Oh,
Riding Dirty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, look at you. Well, you had a kid right about that age, right? When that was popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So like, I thought it was going to be like one of his, maybe Dare to Be Stupid or one of his, originals. Nope. It was Eat It.
Eat It.
And then I was like, oh, there's the left turn.
Well, here's what's funny too. Is like, you'd think that they would parody Michael Jackson, right? With all these Nope. You never see him. They never show Michael Jackson. They just talk about him. And he talks about him like like he's his great rival, but you never see him. Michael Jackson, and like
that's because what happened to Michael Jackson was really
it's possible.
sad.
I mean, it's possible,
know?
but I mean, they also have Salvador Dali. I mean, like they've got people.
Well, yeah,
I
but,
mean,
but what's happened to Madonna is what she's doing to herself, and
Michael,
you know,
I
a
mean,
little bit too much plastic surgery and a little bit too much.
She's, I don't know. I'll avoid that.
She's
if you see her today, she doesn't look anything like herself anymore.
No. She looks like one of those ads for this is what plastic surgery can do to you when you do go to the wrong people. But but and her attitude too. So it's easy to make fun of her, but not, you know, like that's a funny thing. Like, have you ever heard of any scandal involving Weird Al Yankovic?
That's the joke. That's the joke.
Right.
That's the joke.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like almost every other celebrity you can think of.
He's a nerdy polka player.
Right.
Like,
right.
And that's the gag. That's literally the gag of the movie.
But it doesn't even matter because like even there you would expect him to do something stupid.
But that's the gag.
He never has.
No, that's the gag of the movie. They couldn't do this story unless he made up a bunch of bullshit about his life because the real story would be too boring.
Yeah.
Like that is the joke. And that's why it works.
But it's also so amazing that somebody like that exists, you know, in was it in music or in celebrities, like somebody like that is just basically unassailable. Like there's nothing out there about him. He's just everybody who meets him says he's just awesome. It's so nice to have somebody like that exist, you know?
True. I mean, yeah, I can't because they've talked about it too. He's talked about it too. Like he's a vegetarian. He's straight edge. Like he's never done drugs. I don't think he drinks, you know? So it's like,
and I'm pretty sure that Weird Al Yankovic was the inspiration for one of Jim Butcher's characters. What is it? The guy was he was a
Butters,
right?
The
Butters
works in the morgue.
He works in the morgue, but what was his favorite thing? What was he?
Polka.
What was he playing when they rode the undead dinosaur into battle? Polka.
Polka, yes.
It was polka. So yeah, it's I don't know. Like Weird Al Yankovic is just awesome, and yeah, I got to see this movie now.
So I think what
I said,
JD and I are both saying is we highly recommend this movie, and you need to go watch it.
I think you'll love this movie, John. Again, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch it again, right? Because I get the joke, but for the hour and a half I committed to it, I highly enjoyed it. I don't know if it has replayability, but I'm
curious. Somebody, and again, I think you're hard pressed to find people who are like, I hate Weird Al. Maybe some
I've never
women.
heard any. No, my wife loves Weird.
Okay. My girlfriend was like, Weird Al, really? Is it like a Three Stooges movie? And I'm like,
fair question. It's a fair question after watching UHF.
Yeah.
UHF is basically a Three Stooges movie.
Right.
I mean, like, I've never heard anyone say I hate Weird Al, but I think, you know, I don't think if you don't like Weird Al, I think you're just kind of like, it's Weird Al, you know?
Right. So
like, I don't think anyone's like, God, I fucking hate Weird Al.
I'm kind of curious if there's somebody out there who doesn't really, maybe not hate Weird Al, but doesn't really care for Weird Al, watch this movie, what they would think of it.
Probably think it was stupid.
Yeah.
I think you have to like Weird. I mean, like,
dare to be stupid. Is that what you're saying? It's like...
I think that if you like Weird Al, you're in on the joke. Yeah. But if you don't like Weird Al, you're gonna be like, why? This is fucking like. But and then you're like, yes, that's the point. It's dumb.
Yeah, it's supposed to be stupid.
Dumb. Like he's the only guy who's ever intentionally had a stupid career, made it work. Like he doesn't take himself seriously. Like again, not great material for a movie.
I think every once in a while. You just want to watch something stupid to laugh at it. And this is that movie.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And UHF is also that.
Yeah, but this is for a different audience, you know?
Well, true. Well, I don't know.
But I also think UHF was made at a time where maybe he didn't have as much creative control as he would want.
I agree with you on that. I don't think UHF is really his baby as much as somebody else had this for him.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I think he pretty much had a lot of input in that.
It's possible.
The whole thing,
but I mean, this
watches like an LSD trip. I mean,
this movie screams Weird Al.
It does. It's the title.
Yes.
Mom's super concerned about him. First seeing the movie, mom's really concerned. She goes into his bed, reaches in and pulls something out, and she gets scared. It's a Hawaiian t-shirt. Like it's stuff like that. Like, but everyone's
gonna do about our child?
Everyone's and the character of his father is just like it's so cliche, but it's so over the top of the cliche that it's brilliant.
It is.
Call him into the living room. We need
I'm
to
not
have a
gonna
talk with
ruin-
you, son. Then pull out the accordion. We have to talk about this, son.
John, that times 10. It's the devil's music.
That's awesome.
It's the
devil's
the
music.
devil's music. The polka is the devil's music.
Yeah,
And
right.
so-
Polka.
It's that turned up to 11. Like, I'm not going to ruin it for you because the dad stuff, again, it really bothered Andy the way his dad, because Andy's sitting on my lap, watches going, I don't like how his dad's treating Weird Al, because Andy loves Weird Al. Again, he's 6. He discovered Weird Al on Scooby-Doo. So we did a Weird Al deep dive, and he's like, this is fan. And I think he knows those songs better than he knows the 80s songs. Because he's like, he loves Weird Al, you know, and Dare to Be Stupid from Transformers. God, he loves that scene from the movie.
Yeah.
So to see the child, his age, being treated badly by his dad really bothered my kid. Like, again, he thought, it's subtle sardonic humor, and it went completely over his little head, which was in itself hilarious.
Oh my God.
Poor kid.
No, he's fine. The Weird Al winds up in a better spot until he gets murdered. But then Andy realized that was a joke and laughed. He's like, Weird Al's not dead. I'm like, right, he's in the movie. He's like, yeah, he was on Scoopy Land. This is funny. He was on Scoopy. He laughed. He's like, he's not dead. I'm like, yeah, bud, he's not dead. He's fine.
Oh my God.
Actually looks great for his age.
He does look good. He's 59, I think.
Looks good for 59.
That's what spending your entire life making people happy and laugh does for you, you know?
Yeah, and probably not doing drugs.
The drugs.
Yeah.
Mainly the drugs.
Mainly the drugs.
But yeah, I mean, I'll give it 8.5 accordion keys.
Nice.
I will back up that score. 8.5. Yeah.
I can't give it a score, but I'm going to watch it.
I think you'll love it. I really do. I think this will hit you right in the O'Grady zone.
That might be the episode title.
Apparently, no woman can find the O'Grady zone. So, yes, I saw that one. I said, I'm going to walk into that one myself. Damn it!
I've heard that it's near the prostate, and it's manipulated just right.
All right. Well, before we completely devolve here, my watch list for Weird Al stuff is UHF, White and Nerdy, and CNR. Those are the things that if you are listening to this right now, you should make a list. CNR is a video on YouTube. White and Nerdy is another video. It's one of his original songs, or not original songs, but it's one of his parodies. It's one of the best. And then UHF, his movie, which is, I mean, I loved it. It's just get some popcorn and drink some alcohol and just.
The best thing in the White and Nerdy video is he's rapping in his full like rapper outfit, and then Donny Osmond just shows up behind him dancing the whole time.
Only Weird Al could pull that off.
Well, I thought the best thing about that was him walking up to a guy in a back alley and handing him some money and getting a paper bag with the Star Wars holiday special.
Yes, that's
VHF
good. But I mean, just
I'm like, yes, I
you're
would
just
have done
watching
that.
this
That would
video,
be
and
me.
then all of a sudden, Donny Osmond just shows up and he's just dancing in the background. That's it. It's like
it's Weird Al.
I thought that was playing what's his face from SpaceX. Or
Did they
whatever.
ever give the White Stuff music video? Where again, I'm a child of the '90s, so New Kids on the Block was real big when I was in elementary school. And he parodied the White Stuff, talking about the center of an Oreo. It's great. Again, if you were 10 at the time and hated New Kids on the Block, that was your jam.
all right.
God, it's freaking great.
Well, before the White Stuff comes out of the O'Grady zone,
Oh, you had to go
Okay,
there.
no,
Oh,
you
you
know,
had to,
you-
you had to
you
make it
just-
dirty. You had to make it dirty, Dave.
No, man.
What the hell? You had
No,
to get
man.
gross.
You're the one that started talking about
A good
prostate.
comedian
What
knows
the
when to
hell?
stop, man. A good comedian knows when to stop. It's just
Oh shit.
no.
Oh man.
All right.
You
Let's
just had to make it weird. Thanks.
What's the name of the movie? Movie's called Weird.
Let's wrap this one up with some recommendations, or what did you learn on the podcast this week?
I taught John something.
You can go first, JD.
I told John where his O'Grady zone is located. Oh Jesus. I got nothing else. Watch this movie. I've lost. Tired. Wrestling starts tomorrow. My brain is fried.
Okay, John.
I can't exactly say go watch Enola Holmes 2 because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to say that anyway, and you should go and probably see it, because if what they said is true and it's better than the first, then there's no reason to miss that. The Enola Holmes series is really good. It's on Netflix. The other thing is I just got into season 5 of My Hero Academia. Holy crap. Probably one of the best animes out there, probably one of the best mangas ever written. You should get into it if you're into anything near that genre of stuff. This is like the first couple of episodes, the first 6 episodes so far are just one huge battle, and it's amazing. So yeah, and again, my playlist for Weird Al Yankovic is UHF the movie, White and Nerdy the video, and one that not a lot of people seem to have ever seen, CNR the video. And he had to get special permission from the family of Charles Nelson Riley to do the video, and their only request was don't make fun of him. And boy, he didn't make fun of him. He made him awesome. There's a whole backstory to that. So there you go. And
all right. Well, I will recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Comic book reviews by Chris, rants and news sometimes from me. There's a rant on there about everything wrong in Black Adam. You should go check that out. There's also a couple good reviews up by Chris. I learned about the O'Grady Zone, and my life has been changed forever.
You gonna talk to your girl about it?
For the worst.
You gonna ask her to visit the OG zone?
Sure, because that's how I roll.
I was talking to Dave. I'm like,
we're just so
after you, JD, with your wife. But I will recommend.
She'll divorce me if I ask her to do that. To be fair.
I will recommend that you go to the movie theaters this week and see Wakanda Forever, because that is what we will be reviewing on the podcast next week. So until then, as always, thanks for listening, and don't let your cake get caught in the door. Have a good week.